Let me ask you something. This morning, did you have yogurt? Maybe some whole wheat toast? Perhaps a glass of orange juice on the side? If you answered yes to any of those, I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to share with you could genuinely change how you think about your daily meals. And I mean that in the most empowering way possible. I'm Dr. William Lee, and on this channel, Aging Strong Together, our mission is simple: to give you the real science-backed truth about living your healthiest, strongest life after 60. No fluff, no gimmicks, just what the research actually says. And today, the research is telling us something that most people, including many doctors, are still not talking about. After the age of 60, your body processes food differently, significantly differently. The foods that were perfectly fine for you at 35 or even 50 can now trigger inflammation, spike your blood sugar, stress your kidneys, and quietly accelerate aging at the cellular level. The problem? Many of these foods have healthy labels on the packaging. They're marketed as good for your heart, your gut, your energy, and most of us have been eating them for years, trusting that we're making the right choice. Today, I'm going to walk you through 6 of the biggest offenders. 6 foods that are commonly considered healthy, but that I urge my patients over 60 to either stop eating or dramatically reduce. And for every single one, I'm going to give you a better, smarter, more age-appropriate alternative. Let's start with a little science, because understanding why your body changes helps everything else make sense. Here are 3 things that happen in virtually every human body after the age of 60, and these 3 things change the rules of nutrition entirely. First, your digestive enzyme production declines. Your body produces fewer of the enzymes it needs to break down food efficiently. This means nutrients are absorbed differently, and certain foods that were once easy to process now create more work and more stress for your system. Second, chronic low-grade inflammation, what scientists call inflammaging, increases. This is a natural part of aging, but it can be significantly accelerated by the foods we eat. Foods that trigger inflammatory responses in your 60s and beyond can contribute to joint pain, cognitive decline, cardiovascular disease, and more. Third, you begin losing muscle mass at a faster rate, a condition called sarcopenia. After 60, the average person loses roughly 1 to 2% of their muscle mass every year unless they actively fight it. This makes adequate protein intake and the right nutritional choices more critical than ever. Keep these 3 things in mind as we go through each food today, because the reason these 6 foods are problematic isn't arbitrary. It comes directly back to these biological realities. All right, let's get into it. Food number 1, flavored yogurt. Yogurt. It's practically a symbol of healthy eating. You've probably seen it recommended by dietitians, plastered on magazine covers, even endorsed by cardiologists. And here's the thing. Yogurt can be one of the best foods you eat, but the version most Americans are buying, it's a very different story. I'm talking about flavored yogurt, the kind with fruit on the bottom or vanilla swirl or honey blueberry, the ones that taste like dessert because that's essentially what they are. Here's what the label isn't telling you. A single 6-oz container of popular flavored yogurt can contain anywhere from 15 to 28 milliliters of added sugar. That's more sugar than 2 Oreo cookies, and it's often in the form of high fructose corn syrup or refined cane sugar designed to hit your bloodstream fast. Now, why does this matter more after 60? After 60, your insulin sensitivity decreases. Your body becomes less efficient at managing blood sugar spikes. A 2024 study published in Diabetes Care found that older adults experience significantly greater and more prolonged glycemic responses to the same sugary foods compared to younger adults. In practical terms, that means the same cup of flavored yogurt that barely moved the needle for you at 40 is now driving a much bigger blood sugar spike, one that promotes inflammation, contributes to energy crashes, and over time can increase your risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. But wait, what about the probiotics? Isn't yogurt supposed to be good for your gut? Here's the other issue. Many commercial flavored yogurts are heat treated after fermentation. That processing can destroy the very live cultures you're paying for. And even when probiotics survive, the sugar content actively feeds harmful gut bacteria, undermining the probiotic benefit entirely. What to eat instead? Plain whole milk Greek yogurt. It has 2 to 3 times the protein of regular yogurt, minimal sugar, and active live cultures that actually survive. Build your own flavored yogurt by topping it with a small handful of fresh blueberries or raspberries, which are packed with antioxidants, and a few crushed walnuts for healthy omega-3 fats. You get the creaminess, the sweetness, and a fraction of the sugar with a massive boost in nutritional value. Food number 2, commercial whole wheat bread. This one surprises people every time because whole wheat has been a health buzzword for decades. Doctors, dietitians, and health authorities have been telling us for years, choose whole grain over white. And that advice is not wrong in principle. The problem is what's actually in most commercial whole wheat bread. If you look at the ingredient label of a popular whole wheat bread at your local grocery store, you'll often find this: enriched wheat flour, sometimes listed first before whole wheat flour. You'll find caramel coloring, which is what makes the bread look darker and healthier. You'll find high fructose corn syrup, preservatives, and a list of additives that has nothing to do with whole grains. The food industry calls this wheat washing, making a product look and sound like it's made from whole grains when it's primarily refined flour in disguise. And here's what that means nutritionally. Most commercial whole wheat bread has a glycemic index between 68 and 74, nearly as high as white bread, which sits around 75. When you eat it, your blood sugar responds accordingly. It spikes fast and drops fast. For someone over 60 with already reduced insulin sensitivity and an increased inflammatory baseline, that repeated blood sugar roller coaster is not just uncomfortable, it's genuinely damaging over time. Research links persistent glycemic variability in older adults to accelerated cognitive decline, increased cardiovascular risk, and greater systemic inflammation. Look for two things: sourdough bread made with traditional fermentation. The long fermentation process significantly lowers the glycemic index and breaks down anti-nutrients. Or sprouted grain bread like Ezekiel bread. Sprouted grains are easier to digest and provide a more stable blood sugar response. Neither of these will be in the fluffy, air-filled loaves in the center of the bread aisle. Look for them in the refrigerator or freezer section or at bakeries that use traditional methods. Food number 3, commercial sports drinks and electrolyte waters. Here's one that's become increasingly common among seniors, and with good reason. As we age, we're told to stay hydrated, replace electrolytes, and watch our sodium levels. So, a lot of folks over 60 have started reaching for sports drinks or the newer electrolyte water products as a daily hydration strategy. I understand the logic. I really do. But for most seniors, it's the wrong choice. And here's why. First, many popular sports drinks contain between 20 and 34 g of sugar per bottle. That's before we even talk about the artificial dyes, synthetic flavorings, and preservatives they contain. But the bigger issue is sodium, specifically excessive sodium in combination with aging kidneys. After the age of 60, kidney function naturally declines. The kidneys become less efficient at filtering waste and regulating fluid and electrolyte balance. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society shows that aging kidneys are more sensitive to sodium overload, which can contribute to elevated blood pressure, fluid retention, and in some cases, accelerated kidney function decline. When someone with already borderline blood pressure is drinking a sports drink every day thinking they're being healthy, they may actually be putting quiet but consistent stress on their cardiovascular system and kidneys. And the electrolyte waters aren't always better. Many are loaded with synthetic mineral blends and artificial flavoring while providing far less potassium, magnesium, and actual electrolyte benefit than the marketing suggests. Unsweetened coconut water is one of the best natural electrolyte sources available. It contains natural potassium, magnesium, and sodium in ratios that are well tolerated by aging bodies. Another excellent option, a glass of water with a small pinch of high-quality sea salt, a squeeze of fresh lemon, and optionally a dash of pure fruit juice for flavor. It's simple, cheap, and genuinely hydrating without the sugar or additives. And of course, water. Plain, clean water remains the gold standard. The goal for most adults over 60 is at least 6 to 8 glasses per day, more in warm weather or with physical activity. Food number 4, farm salmon, conventional. Now, before I lose you on this one, let me be clear. Salmon is still one of the best fish you can eat. The type of salmon matters enormously, and this distinction is one that most grocery shoppers aren't making. Conventional farmed salmon, which makes up the vast majority of salmon sold at major grocery chains, is raised in densely packed ocean pens where the fish are fed an artificially formulated diet of soy, corn, canola oil, and fish meal. This diet dramatically changes the nutritional profile of the fish. Wild-caught salmon, particularly sockeye or Alaskan salmon, has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of roughly 1.1. A beautifully balanced profile that supports heart health, brain function, and anti-inflammatory pathways. Conventional farmed salmon, the ratio can be as skewed as 5.1 in favor of omega-6 fatty acids or higher depending on the feed. And here's why that matters for you specifically. After 60, chronic inflammation is already elevated. Omega-3 fatty acids help your body fight that inflammation. Omega-6 fatty acids, particularly in excess, promote it. When you think you're eating a powerful anti-inflammatory food, but you're actually consuming high amounts of pro-inflammatory omega-6, you're working against yourself without knowing it. Additionally, conventional farmed salmon is often treated with antibiotics, and the pink color you see in the flesh is not natural. It comes from synthetic astaxanthin added to the feed because farm-raised fish would otherwise be pale gray. Wild salmon gets its color from naturally eating krill and other organisms in the wild. When salmon is what you want, look specifically for wild-caught Alaskan sockeye or wild-caught Pacific salmon. Yes, it costs more, but even once or twice a week provides significant benefit. If budget is a concern, and I hear this from patients all the time, canned sardines are one of the most nutritionally dense and affordable omega-3 sources available. They are wild-caught, high in omega-3s, rich in calcium, and packed with vitamin D. Don't overlook them. Mackerel and anchovies are other excellent alternatives. Food number 5, low-fat salad dressings. If you've been drizzling low-fat ranch or fat-free Italian on your salads for years because you thought you were doing something smart, this one's for you. The low-fat food movement was one of the biggest nutritional mistakes of the 20th century, and unfortunately, many people, especially those who grew up being told that fat was the enemy, are still living by those outdated rules. Here's the reality. Fat was removed from these dressings and replaced with two things: sugar and industrial seed oils. Sugar to restore palatability, and cheap, highly processed seed oils, those soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, to maintain texture and extend shelf life. Why is this a problem? First, the sugar. Again, we're back to blood sugar, inflammation, and the cascading metabolic effects we've already discussed. But the seed oils deserve special attention. When soybean and canola oils are extracted, they undergo high heat industrial processing that oxidizes the fats, meaning the fats become chemically unstable before they even hit the bottle. When you consume these oxidized fats, they promote oxidative stress in your cells, which at the molecular level accelerates cellular aging and contributes to arterial damage. A 2023 analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found associations between high consumption of refined seed oils and increased markers of systemic inflammation in older adults. There's also a nutrient absorption issue specific to salad. Many of the powerful antioxidants in vegetables, like the lycopene in tomatoes, the lutein in leafy greens, and the beta-carotene in carrots, are fat-soluble. That means your body literally cannot absorb them without fat. Low-fat dressing doesn't just fail to help, and it may actually prevent you from getting the nutritional benefit of the vegetables you're eating. Extra virgin olive oil is hands down the gold standard. Drizzle it generously on your salad with some apple cider vinegar or fresh lemon juice, a pinch of sea salt, garlic, and dried herbs. It takes 30 seconds to make, costs almost nothing per serving, and has decades of research backing its cardiovascular and cognitive benefits. You can also use a tahini-based dressing, an avocado dressing, or a simple balsamic and Evio combination. Any of these will help your body absorb far more nutrition from the salad itself. Food number 6, 100% fruit juice, no added sugar. And here we are at number 6. And I want to be gentle here because I know how much people love their morning orange juice. It feels wholesome. It feels American. It's been part of breakfast tables for generations. But the research on fruit juice and aging is increasingly clear, and I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't share it honestly. Here's the problem. When you drink a glass of orange juice, you're consuming the sugars from approximately 5 to 6 medium oranges, but without any of the fiber, and that distinction is enormous. Fiber is the key that regulates how your body processes fruit sugar, called fructose. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber slows digestion, moderates the blood sugar rise, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. When you drink the juice, that fructose enters your bloodstream rapidly, and an organ called the liver has to deal with it fast. Here's what most people don't know. Fructose, unlike glucose, is metabolized almost entirely in the liver, and when the liver receives a large, rapid influx of fructose, the way it does from a glass of juice, it processes it similarly to how it processes alcohol. Over time and with regular consumption, this contributes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, elevated triglycerides, increased uric acid levels, and yes, gout. Gout, by the way, has nearly doubled in prevalence among Americans over 60 in the last 3 decades, and high fructose intake is one of the primary dietary drivers. A major study in the British Medical Journal found that regular fruit juice consumption, even 100% juice with no added sugar, was associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Not fruit juice. The distinction is the fiber. Eat the fruit. Eat the a-whole orange, an apple, a cup of berries. These are nutritional powerhouses with built-in fiber and a natural sugar delivery mechanism your body handles beautifully. If you genuinely enjoy a beverage in the morning, try sparkling water with a slice of orange or lemon. You get the refreshing citrus taste without the fructose load. Or blend a green smoothie using the whole fruit, spinach, half a banana, some berries so the fiber stays in. That's a completely different physiological response from juicing. Your liver will thank you. Your uric acid levels will thank you. And honestly, once you adjust, you won't miss the juice. Now, I don't want you to walk away from this video feeling like everything is off limits. That's not the message. The message is eat smarter for the body you have today, not the body you had at 30. So let me leave you with 5 foods I actively encourage my patients over 60 to eat more of. 1, berries, especially blueberries and blackberries especially. These are among the most antioxidant-rich foods on the planet. The compounds called anthocyanins in dark berries have been shown in research to support brain function, protect against cognitive decline, and reduce inflammatory markers. A half cup a day is enough to make a real difference. 2, leafy greens, particularly spinach, kale, and arugula dressed with olive oil. This combination is not an accident of cuisine. The fat-soluble vitamins K, A, and E in leafy greens are absorbed dramatically better when paired with healthy fat. This combination also provides folate, magnesium, and powerful antioxidants that support heart and bone health. 3, eggs. I know eggs have had a complicated history in the nutrition world, but the current research is clear. For most healthy adults, whole eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense foods available. They are a complete protein source. They contain choline, and which is critical for brain health and often insufficient in aging adults, and they provide vitamin D, B12, and selenium. Don't fear the yolk. 4, beans and lentils. These are among the most underappreciated longevity foods in existence. High in plant-based protein, rich in soluble fiber that feeds your gut microbiome and helps regulate blood sugar, and linked in multiple population studies to reduced cardiovascular risk and longer lifespan. A half cup of black beans, chickpeas, or green lentils several times a week is one of the simplest upgrades you can make. 5, dark chocolate, 85% cacao or higher. Yes, really. The flavonoids in high cacao dark chocolate have been shown to improve endothelial function. That's the health of your blood vessel lining, reduce blood pressure, and support cognitive function. 1 or 2 squares a day is a genuinely evidence-based pleasure. Just make sure you're choosing a bar that's at least 85% cacao with minimal added sugar. So let's bring it all together. 6 foods that wear a healthy disguise, but that deserve a second look after 60. 1, flavored yogurt. It's a sugar bomb in disguise. Switch to plain Greek yogurt and top it yourself. 2, commercial whole wheat bread. Most of it is wheat-washed, refined flour. Choose real sourdough or sprouted grain. 3, sports drinks. Your aging kidneys don't need the sodium and sugar. Choose coconut water or simple homemade electrolyte water instead. 4, conventional farmed salmon. The omega-6 imbalance matters. Seek out wild-caught fish or turn to sardines and mackerel. 5, low-fat salad dressings. They traded fat for sugar and oxidized seed oils. Make your own with extra virgin olive oil. It takes seconds and helps your body absorb more nutrients from your salad. And 6, 100% fruit juice. Even with no added sugar, it's concentrated fructose without the fiber that makes whole fruit so beneficial. Eat the fruit, drink the water. Here's what I want you to take away from today. Eating well after 60 is not about restriction. It's not about fear. It's about understanding what your body needs at this stage, meets that, and making choices that honor that. You have more control over how you age than most people realize. And it starts right there in your kitchen. If this video gave you something useful, a new perspective, a swap you're going to try, please hit that like button. It helps this channel reach more people who need this information. And I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. If you're not already subscribed to Aging Strong Together, now is the time. Every week, we bring you honest, science-backed content on how to live your strongest, healthiest life no matter your age. And when you're ready, I'll see you in the next video. 5 supplements doctors actually recommend after 60, and the 3 you should stop wasting your money on. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.